Welcome back everybody, it's Go, and today we're playing Dimir, THASSA, Control, and Standard. So this is a deck that me and a viewer, Goblinoid, have actually brewed together down in the Discord, so you should check out the link down below in the description so you can join in and just, me and him built this deck from scratch. Like, just spitballing ideas and just kind of bullshitting. Like, he told me some of his favorite cards and we just we got right in the lab with it, and I mean, this is the final list that I've come up with for what I want to play on camera today. I actually made a few more differences since me and you last spoke, Goblinoid, so I hope you're interested in some of the last minute decisions that I made, which we'll go over in this video and the deck tech. For new viewers and everything, if you're not subscribed, if you watch my channel and you're not subscribed already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're almost at 100, and I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I plan on doing a special for the 100. I might even do a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. And again, please consider checking out the Discord down below. Hit the like if you like today's video. If not, leave a comment down below and tell me why, and maybe even leave a deck suggestion, but preferably bring that to the Discord so we can talk about it. Anyway, let's get in today's video. So what we're trying to do is play THASSA Deep Dwelling, and we're trying to blink our creatures and accrue as much value from our creatures as possible, while also having a nice 6/5 indestructible beater that can tap our opponent's creatures to get through for combat damage. And then all of our creatures have some form of ETB value that we're going to be able to abuse over and over and over again. So to start with the creatures, we have 2 copies of Overwhelmed Apprentice, and this is like one of the only good 1-drops that we can play. We could play like Thieves Guild Enforcer if we were all in rogues, or if we were trying to mill our opponent, but that's not really the game plan for our deck. So Overwhelmed Apprentices is okay. It's just like a decent like creature against aggro decks. It helps us scry and find some cards. So if you have nothing else to do or nothing else to blink with THASSA, we can just we can just blink this over and over and over again to scry for some more value. Then we have 4 copies of Thassa's Oracle. If we're up against mill, which might happen more often than you think, we're going to be able to have that like secondary win condition. Plus, it's just a nice creature to find more value. It's essentially another Overwhelmed Apprentice, but better. So we can like scry, set up our draws, and try to find all of our lands and all of our big endgame finishing cards. We have 4 copies of Acquisitions Expert. This is going to let us make our opponents discard cards, and we actually are playing a few wizards, we're playing a few rogues, and we're playing a few clerics. So we're going to actually have a decent amount of creatures of party, so that it's not completely uncommon to make them discard 1, 2, sometimes 3 cards. That's like definitely the dream, but regardless, we get to take a look at their hand and make them discard our cards. Hopefully something good that's going to slow them down or disrupt them. And it's a nice blinkable target, so you can discard at least 2 cards a turn that you play it. We're also playing 2 copies of Myra Triton just because it's a nice death touch blocker. It mills us a little bit, which the original shell did have like a reanimator type theme, but there's really not a lot of support for it. And I was also trying to play like a Gyruda type thing, but there's not. I don't know, the even CMC list. I kept getting like really awkward turns where I wanted to double spell and things like that, and it's really tricky, especially on turn 3. So I usually ended up spending most of my turn 3s just buying Garuda and not doing anything else to commit to the board. So I was dying very fast to aggro. I stood virtually no chance against that, even with the help of Myra Triton, and I was playing 4 copies. Now to bring it over to the 3-drops, we're playing 4 copies of Cloudkin Seer just because it's a 3-drop flyer that we can trade with some flyers in the format. There are a lot of flying rogues this can trade with. It also just chumps in the air if we needed to, but most importantly, it draws a card. Since we do not have Fibblethip anymore, since that rotated out of the format, this is probably one of the best replacements that we have access to, and we can blink it with THASSA to just draw cards. Essentially, we're just trying to blink all of our early creatures to get us to all of our late creatures. We have a copy of Glasspool Mimic to replace copy of an island in the mana base to be able to copy anything that we needed to, plus it's modular in this deck because since we can blink it, we can have it come in as one thing and then mix it up as we go along in the game. In the 4-drop slot, we have 4 copies of Atris Oracle of Half-Truths. This is basically like Fact or Fiction, sort of. It's like a mini game. So when we play it, our opponent gets to look at the top 3, choose 2 piles, and they give us a face-up pile and a face-down pile, and we get to choose one. And regardless if we end up losing in that minigame, like if we end up just taking 2 lands over something relevant, or vice versa, if we need the lands or whatever the case might be, if we end up losing that exchange, no matter what, we can just keep accruing the value off of THASSA blinking it. And it's a nice 3-mana, it's a nice 3/2 with Menace, so it's going to occasionally beat down sometimes. We're also playing 3 copies of Solemn Simulacrum, so again, the original build did not have this, but I realized that it was really hard to get to our late cost creatures sometimes, plus it was hard to have the triple black for Massacre Worm. So I figured play Solemn, draws us some cards when it dies, and if it doesn't die, we can just blink it and just we can just ramp and take all of our lands out of our deck, thin it out a little bit so we can just draw into more and more threats. We're playing 3 copies of Gourmand. This is where it all started, was Gourmand and THASSA. This is what me and Goblinoid, this is what he suggested anyway. These were like the 2 cards that he was like, oh, we should brew around this. And I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. So we did it. And this is the final result. It's a 6 mana 5/5 with flying and trample. As an additional cost, we have to sacrifice a creature, which kind of sucks. But just being able to blink it when it comes in, or if we have Glasspool Mimic come in and copy it, doesn't have to sacrifice a creature. You don't have to sacrifice a creature. So basically, we make that initial cost 1 time, which is perfect because we are playing a bunch of like small ball creatures. So we're gonna have plenty of creatures to choose from. And then once we have THASSA, we can just blink it and make our opponent sacrifice a creature every turn. And then we're playing 2 copies of Massacre Worm to clear the board. And when our creatures your opponent control dies, they lose 2 life. And the turn this comes in with THASSA, it gives all of your opponent's creatures -4/-4. So it gives you that little extra reach against some higher toughness creatures. In the mana base, we're playing a 7/7 split of basics, 1 Castle Locthwain for draw, 4 copies of the Pathway, 4 copies of Fabled Passage, and then the Glasspool Mimic as an island, and that is the deck. We also have a sideboard, which I will leave in the link description to the Aether Hub. Go check that out if you want to try this deck out in best of 3. And with that, let's take it into the arena and see how we do with Dimir, THASSA, Blink, Control, and Standard. Alright, so our opponent's on the play, and our hand is a little slow, so I'm probably going to end up mulliganing this. This hand's a little bit better. We'll bottom the Massacre Worm. It's the most expensive card. Oh boy. Up against which is probably Rakdos Sacrifice, I would imagine. I don't know if any viewers out here know that you can interact with this. I'm sure you probably all do by now, but you can just keep making it blow up until it crumbles all the way. Revealing a crystal. Ooh, opponent's very, very ballsy. Very aggressive. That's fine. So we'll play a Cloudkin Seer next turn, be able to draw a card, have a blocker. The good thing is, until we get our setup going on, all of our creatures are going to get us value whether they enter the battlefield or when they die, like Solemn. Which I feel like our creatures are definitely going to be dying. Ah, that's a blowout. Yeah. Alright, so drew into a THASSA's Oracle. I'm probably still just going to grab a Swamp here, play the Solemn, and grab the other Swamp, and start ramping up to the Massacre Worm. Now, if we draw the Massacre Worm off the top, we'd be in some really good shape. Our opponent is stuck on 2 lands, and they're trying to find it with Village Rites. Understandably so. It does not seem like they found one. They're not willing to trade their Scourge, so I'll force them to discard a card. Also notice this is Azorius, so I wonder if our opponent's playing Jeskai or if it's just black-white. Another Compound Fracture in the graveyard, something to note. Yes, I will always take that action unless I'm against Mill. Still have not found an actual THASSA or a Massacre Worm. Alright, well I think I play the Demon's Disciple. They'll probably sacrifice the Scourge first. And I could play the other Disciple and force them to sack the Seasoned Hollowblade. But I think I honestly just want to Acquisitions Expert or THASSA's Oracle. I think I THASSA's Oracle because it can block and kill the Seasoned Hollowblade unless they want to discard to it. Plus it'll let us set up our draw. Which if we can find like a Massacre Worm or a THASSA, I'd be pretty cool with that. Alright, well we don't really want either. So we're just gonna submit 0. Which I'm not sure if some players don't know you can do that. You don't have to put anything to the top if you don't like any of them. Opponent found our third land. Fortunate for us, it was a tapped one, so they time walked. They're still time walked. Opponent decides to attack. Yeah, I'm gonna keep forcing them to discard cards. Yep, seemed like opponent had to think about it. Double Hollow Blade. Massacre Worm is looking better and better, though, if we can just find it. Let's play our Cloudkin, Seer, draw a card. Alright, another island isn't terrible. I could play Solemn. Solemn's not bad. Could have also double Acquisition Expert. That would have been pretty good. I would have been able to take a peek at their entire hand. But honestly, I like the setup. They have to discard cards anyway, and I'll just chump these creatures all day until we get our engines rolling. Alright, opponent found land number 4. Opponent's looking at the CMCs like he has Extinction Event. Okay, Maul of the Skyclaves. That's pretty sketchy. That is no bueno. Alright, well, still gonna jump. Yep. Opponent's discarding all their removal, too. So if we can just stick it, if we can stick the Massacre Worm, then we're in really good shape. Maybe not against this season Hollowblade, though. And we found him. And we have just enough. So we can Massacre Worm, that'll kill the first season Hollowblade. And then we can Demon's Disciple the other one. And this might just be enough to close out the game. No, okay. Our opponent still has some removal. We didn't draw anything good, so we'll steal their last card. Yep. And I'll just pass it up. Might as well hold up this one. Sure. I mean, an Acquisitions Expert that made you discard a card and you lost 2 life? Seemed like a good exchange for me. Roll in for 2. I don't really like any of these cards. And again, we'll just pass it up. Alright, make our opponent think that all we drew was a land. Attack, pass. Well, that's a good draw. Okay, let's attack for 1. He's thinking. Yeah? Alright, let's see what you're holding up. Nice. Quality. I mean, now our opponent doesn't have 2 cards. We just kind of want to keep their hand low so they can't keep feeding it into the Seasoned Hollowblade. And if opponent equipped it and started attacking, he would beat us in 3 turns, and it would take us 4 turns to beat him, so he would actually have us on that race. But opponent has to do something now. Oh, no, that's great. That's sketchy. We need a THASSA off the top. That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. That's like perfect actually. Wow. Nice. Our opponent doesn't even realize. Yep, sacrifice the overwhelmed apprentice. Thank you, sack a dude. Okay. So you can equip them all as Skyclaves, and that's still pretty scary. He's in combat, I think, already. So you can't equip it. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, buddy. Okay. Well, first I'm just gonna go ahead and tap down your guy. Get in for a bunch. End turn. Yeah, we did it, Goblinoid. We did it. Yes. Woohoo! Got it. Ooh. We're on the play, and this hand seems great. So we're going to keep this. We'll lead off with the Fabled Passage. So we'll have the untapped second blue source for Thassa's Oracle. Then we can find our fourth land, curve out into Solemn and Thassa. This seems great. We get to make our move. Let's grab that island. That's cool art. Oh, it's Kaladesh Mountain, actually. Nice. I guess that's the new default. I really wish it would make a function that you can like save your favorite lands. I don't understand how to do that if there's a clear method or what. Player Thassa's Oracle, so their shock is probably bad. Atris is cool. I really want to land though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to submit 0. I want to make sure that we have a guaranteed fourth land. Like, if we can just get to 4, Solemn will get us to the rest. Ooh, double shock? Ooh, feels good. And we found our fourth land. Feels great. Show me what you got. Alright, opponent's on the play. And this hand's a little sketchy. Not sure how I feel about it. We're not really doing much of anything for a while, so I'm gonna mulligan. And this hand's a lot better. Bottom the Gourmand. It's the most expensive card. Alright, so hopefully our Overwhelmed Apprentice will find us a black source. That technically is a black source. But then we're not doing anything on turn 2. I mean, I could bottom both and try to risk drawing into a black source, but I'll play on the safe side and grab the Fabled Passage. It'll probably thank me later, honestly. It'll probably pay off in the end. Alright. Scoot Swarm in our opponent's graveyard. That's not going to be fun. If we can get our Massacre Worm, that might just win us the game, unless they mutate onto it. Ooh, but then Thassa Massacre Worm, if they mutate, like, Migratory Greathorn, we can still kill them all. Yeah, that seems great. Alright, Acquisitions Expert. See what you got. Our opponent's already at 4 lands. They're gonna get to 6 easily. So if we take their land to try to handicap them, it's not really gonna matter much. I guess we take the Ancient Green Warden since they gave it to us. Alright, if we could find another land. I'm not sure if I lead off with Atris first. Probably THASSA, just to get her into play. That's not going to be good. Nope. Not at all. And now it's going to be like way too big for our Massacre Worm to deal with, or our Gourmand. So we need to find a Demon's Disciple off the top. Or eventually anyway. So I'll play THASSA. No attacks. I can... I can see what the last 2 cards in their hand are, or I can try to scry and find a Demon's Disciple, but in the meantime they could just play out another creature. Yeah, I guess we might as well just make them discard a bunch. Alright, both are really good. The Vivian's probably scarier, though. Yep. Seems really good for this deck, actually, to be able to use the Luminous Broodmoth. You can play Vivian when you cast the Luminous Broodmoth with her -2. You can tutor up the Fearless Fledgling, and since it doesn't have flying when you don't play a land, it'll come back with the landfall counter. That's actually pretty interesting interaction. I think we can afford to take 1 hit. Alright, that's still not a Demon's Disciple. We need that. So we'll play the Mire Triton since it's a Death Touch. It can block Migratory Greathorn. Notice 2 lands, which is cool for us. An opponent has a random in their hand, so what are the odds that it's relevant? I guess I just keep hitting their hand. Keep them off of resources as much as possible. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good hit. That's a great hit for us. Nothing is safe if you don't cast it. Yep, so their Beanstalks sit safely in their exile zone on the minimum. 6 in the air is going to hurt. And they found the land to be able to attack. Demon's Disciple is great. Okay, cool. So let's see what he brings back first. So we'll get rid of the Acquisitions Expert. It did a lot of work. Yep, comes back with the flying counter. What? Oh, that's so good. Ooh. That's crispy. Okay. Shit. Shit. It's probably a good game, honestly. Damn. There it is. There's another Demon's Disciple. See how our opponent decides to sacrifice here. They'll probably get rid of the Scoot Swarm. Just comes back with flying. Yeah, damn. Good game, opponent. Just go ahead and get on out of this. Alright, we're on the play, and it's not terrible. Start off with an island, and if we find an Acquisitions Expert, we can lead off with the black side of the pathway. If not, we'll just play another island and Thassa's Oracle. Alright, lead off with the island. Alright. Thought our opponent might have been ready to rope us or something. They might have disconnected, but they were just taking a long time. Fabled Passage for our opponent. White for their source. So we didn't find an acquisitions expert, so we'll play the Thassa's Oracle and make sure we can find our lands. That counts. Okay. Golden egg for our opponent. Play the black half of Pathway, get in for 1. And now next turn we could play Thassa, but I think we play Solemn and then we can try to ramp into the Gourmand. I assume this is Esper, yeah. Esper Doom Foretold. Alright, let's see how this matchup fares. Probably not super good. We can make them sacrifice their permanents, which is nice, but they're like their creatures once they reanimate them and all that good stuff, but still. We will always yield to this action. Wow, okay, opponent. Rude. Right now you scry that to the bottom. Get in for 1 more damage, pass it up. Yeah, I wish you can always yield to actions too, like you can in Moto. Yep. Yeah, we'll always yield to this draw as well. Cool. Opponent has quite a few cards in their library as well, I noticed. I think I'll play the Thassa first, and then the Overwhelmed Apprentice, and then our Acquisitions Expert gets better. This is going to help their cause a little bit by milling them, so that's not super good. If we can mill a dance, though, that would be better. Demon's Disciple. Nah, I think we just need lands. Ooh, nice. Hit 2 pretty good targets. Yeah, I think I'll play it like that, actually. We can get some draw into the land so we can double spell. I mean, we could double spell anyway, but I think this is probably the correct choice. Hitting the Elspeth Conquers Death and the Dream Trawler were really nice hits for us. Dream Trawler is a menace against this deck, I would imagine. I mean, unless it's like the only creature they haven't played, then the Gourmand and the Demon's Disciple get better, but who knows. Opponent's still a few turns away for sure to get their Dance of the Manse. Now Doom is online. That's pretty bad for us. I mean, we'll just sacrifice the Overwhelmed Apprentice, obviously. Let's draw into our Cloud King. Play our land off the top and play our Acquisitions Expert. Now we'll have 2 creatures in play for the party, so we'll be able to take a peek at 2 cards. Hopefully they offer us something good. Alright, Treacherous Blessing is good, it helps them find more cards. Arcanist Sun's Grace is going to give them a means to create tokens. I feel like we take the Arcan, honestly. Now they're probably just going to show us a Treacherous Blessing again. But we get to see 1 more card. And we're definitely taking the Skyclave Apparition. That could have hit our Thassa. We definitely want Thassa. Good thing we have a backup, though. Yep. That was a good shatter for our opponent. And we're going to lose our Thassa, which is a bummer. Massacre Worm's not bad, but it's not going to help against the Doom. Honestly, I think we just don't play anything this turn. We'll just get their Doom off the board. They can't play their Treacherous Blessing without playing something else. Or without playing another Doom Foretold. Yeah, so our opponent doesn't want to commit to the board either. Discard a Gourmand. I also could have drew, but I didn't want to lose all the life. Alright, so our opponent might be playing another Doom Foretold. I think they might have another one in their hand. What I want to try to do is set up the THASSA, and then when I can play the Massacre Worm, I can kill all the Dance of the Man's tokens. Right. We're still a little bit ways off of Dance of the Man's anyway. From it being super scary. So let's play Atris first. Get some cards, and our opponent will just have to deal with it. Alright, so we get either 2 lands or a mystery card. We don't really necessarily need the lands, so I'm just going to go for the mystery. And it ends up being something decent. Can't play it, but Autotapper didn't know that we might have drawn into that, and I didn't think ahead. So that's my bad. I could have just as easily drawn into an Acquisitions Expert with 2 blue open instead and been stuck in the same situation. That's Magic for you. Our opponent has plenty of tokens. Now they can play their Doom again if they have one. They do not. Doesn't seem. Okay, maybe they still might. Okay, Heartless Act on our Atris. Still fine. We're going to take a decent beating here. I think it's about as good as time as any to Massacre Worm then. Still hits our opponent for 6 damage, which is nice. And they're getting closer and closer to their dance mana. Yep, they just need one more land. Alright, seems our opponent might not have the interaction to deal with that. Okay, so let's get in for 6. Force our opponent to do something. Alright, they have nothing. Play THASSA. Acquisitions Expert. Well, we get to make them discard 2 cards. Hopefully one being a dance. Doubtful, but... Yep, get a land. Let's go ahead and blink you. Yorian's not a bad hit either. I'm sure they're probably sitting on the dance though. If they are, then we need to draw into our other copy of Massacre Worm. Yep, they're going to start scrying and dig for it. In the tank, they're thinking. Okay, 1 top, 1 bottom, that's scary. Yep. Or I guess they're not. I don't know why it's highlighted. It's stuck being highlighted. That's weird. Sanction Event hurts us, though. Oh, that sucks. Dang. Still, it's not a Dance of the Mance, but hey, we love to see it. Yeah, we'll play it. We don't want any of those. We realistically don't want any of these either. Atris can help us dig a little bit more too. Archering mills us. Gains us back some life, which might be relevant, but I really just think the Massacre Worm is our out here, in case they draw into the dance. So we have one Massacre Worm in exile. Should have one remaining in the deck. So here's to hoping we find it. Okay, still haven't found the dance. They're digging though. Not finding Doom Foretold really helps too, because our Treacherous Blessing is going to kill them. Yeah, that's pretty good. Gets all that value. Gets rid of our second THASSA. Massacre Worm off the top still would help, but... Alright, yeah, I guess we play Gourmands. Sacrifice the Oracle. We'll just sacrifice a 1/1. No attacks. Our opponent's seeing a lot more cards than we are, which is the big downside to us to compared. I mean, we've technically seen more, but I think they started with more cards. So for them to be close to us, they've definitely seen enough. Yeah, Elspeth Conquers Death is a magic card. So I can Gourmand again. They're just going to get rid of the 1/1. Yeah, and if I attack, they'll just chump, or they'll just block it with Urian. So I guess I might as well force the sack on the 1/1, and we'll have the 5/5 blocker again. But we are super down on cards now. Our opponent's got us beat on that game plan. I think this would be a pretty easy matchup in best of 3 though for us, to be able to just bring in some graveyard exile and some negates and stuff. It would probably shore up this matchup pretty easily. Alright, let's crack this. Stop holding priority. What would have been on top? A swamp. Cool, good thing we shuffled. I hate that they show you that card too. So it's like sometimes you're like, oh, like I need that Massacre Worm, and I shuffle away the only Massacre Worm left. Never see it again. Now we need to find THASSA too. That's the only way we can kill the 4/4s. Like if they find their dance, we're pretty much dead. They don't like either of the cards. Alright, THASSA's pretty good. Alright. Attack. Hope our opponent doesn't have a way to kill this without blocking it. Yeah, just block it. You get it back with Elspeth Conquers Death. Just block it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Now our opponent's just going to be able to get... They're probably going to bring back the Skyclave Apparition, maybe, or something to exile my other THASSA, but then we'll get the 4/4 back. This puts a lot of pressure on our opponent. They have to find a Dance of the Mance, or they just lose. Yep, opponent's thinking. One top, one bottom. Uh-oh. That doesn't seem good. Still go ahead and kill their Skyclave Apparition. Get back our 4/4. Yeah, Dream Trawler seems good. Good news is I can force him to tap it by tapping it with THASSA. So Hogger Mauling. Yeah. Seems good. Glass Casket. Okay. Down to 2. Mm-hmm. Okay. Since we can't attack and kill them, we will draw instead on the end step. Instead of tapping the Dream Trawler. Solemn's not terrible. That's way better. So, let's play Solemn first. Grab a swamp. Then we'll play our Demon's Disciple, which is like amazing against Dream Trawler. Yep, our opponent's digging again. One top, one bottom. This, oh my god. One of these is going to be the dance. They have to draw into it soon. They've seen so much of their deck. Yep. We will draw a card. We're going to submit 0 on that. I don't see a single dance in their graveyard either. I mean, they have to be playing it, right? Like, this is the setup. Like, if they just have the entire package without dance, that would just be bizarre. Maybe they just replaced it with Shatter the Sky and just call it a control deck instead. Yeah, Urine will help. You go down to 1. Which go back up to a virtual 3. You get all of your little goodies again. You're playing a dangerous game. Yep. Massacre Worm off the top. Yep. Massacre Worm doesn't even... I mean, Massacre Worm will still do it, but... we're going to lose our THASSA. Alright, they draw a bunch of cards. They have almost a whole grip again. Yep. I'll discard, or I'll sacrifice it. Glasspool Mimic. Okay. Overwhelmed Apprentice. Does not find us a Massacre Worm. Glasspool Mimic coming in as a copy of Overwhelmed Apprentice. Also not Massacre Worm. And now we're just going to hope that we find it. Our opponent's still within lethal range with Massacre Worm. If they gain any more life, then we're in a lot of trouble. Finally found a way to get rid of their Treacherous Blessing. Good for them. They only drew 9 cards off of it. Yep. Elspeth Nightmare is good. Alright, I mean, double Elspeth Nightmare is okay, I guess. Now you're just going to lose your Doom Foretold. I don't have anything else now, so... Okay. So we're going to discard, regardless if we draw. Yeah, we might as well draw it, though. Get that extra card. Down to 6. Atris. Discard. Alright. Can we still get it? Massacre off the top. Massacre off the top. Ooh, come on. 1 out of 26 odds. Terrible, terrible odds. We're gonna mill it. We're gonna mill the Massacre Worm right off the top. It's the next card. Alright. Oh, damn. Man, that was such a good game, though. If we just found another Massacre Worm. Jeez. Good game, opponent. Alright. Well, since you're not just going to attack. Alright. Going up against Dragon. That's an awesome name. We are on the draw, and this hand's okay. Start off with the Clearwater Pathway. Try to find the second island for the THASSA's Oracle. Solemn THASSA. Most of our opening hands have been pretty much this. That's good. I like it. Let's mill our opponent for 2. See if we can figure out some information. Okay. So they are mono blue so far from what it seems. Alright, second pathway. Play THASSA's Oracle. We already have an Atris. Another THASSA's Oracle is cool. We can turn on THASSA this game. Try to. They're probably not going to block. Interesting. Tap or untap. Only once, though, they get that effect. So they can do that on our upkeep. Bounce a creature or something, and then tap down our island. That seems pretty good, actually. Probably better on paper. Double stinging lionfish. Uh-oh. This is actually going to be brutal. Okay. Another THASSA's Oracle. Do we want the Cloudkin Seers, though? I think, like, we honestly just take a land. And we'll just attack for 1. We want to keep our THASSA's Oracles. This is scary, though. Having both of these in play. Oh, target non-land permanent. Oh. Why are you even playing this? I say that. It's probably going to kick my ass. I mean, they are drawing dead. They're not hitting their land drops, which kind of stinks. We're going to play our THASSA, though. Sure. Unsummon's pretty cool. I guess I might as well attack. Sure, I'll kill one of them. That's cool with me. Alright, Stinging Lionfish deck. Alright, let's play our THASSA. Actually, no attacks. We will THASSA's Oracle again. I honestly feel like we just keep taking THASSA's Oracles. Just keep digging deeper and deeper in the deck. Our opponent's digging. They're really drawing bad with their lands, though. That's unfortunate. I'm curious to see like what the engine is with this deck. Alright, nothing from our opponent, which is cool. Play our THASSA's Oracle. Gormand is a good way of closing out the game. Also can force them to sack their creatures over the course of a few turns. I have a lot of cards in their hand. Could get the Acquisitions Expert and start making them discard. Yeah, Acquisitions Expert's actually been really good. I'll play Atris. We already know what one card on top is. Yeah, okay. So they want to offer me double acquisitions. They want to offer me double acquisitions experts over one card. The odds of it being something better, they're slim, but I'm gonna play it. What did I lose? Another Atris. That's fine. They keep tapping down our board, bouncing our THASSA. We're okay with this. We're just gonna keep getting in. Yep. Trying to keep our devotion down. I want to keep these off the board, honestly. I don't like these. They're very, they seem pretty good for tempo, but like bouncing creatures, if that's your only game plan, it's not going to work for long. That's a good threat. And it's got reach. Sick. Another Acquisitions Expert, so we can basically just make them discard their entire hand. That's not a bad play, actually. I'm definitely just going to do that. Yep. Soul Guide Lantern does nothing against us. Yeah, we're going to take that. Go ahead and get in for 3 and pass it up. Yeah, I mean, triple Acquisitions Expert's not terrible. Just make them drop all of their cards. Soul God, I guess, is just in here for draw, and it's nice main board against graveyard-based strategies. Not even really sure what this deck is. I guess it's just mono blue. Just try to beat with this guy, and Stinging Lionfish are kind of different. Maybe they're just going for like a aquatic theme. I'm not one to judge. get down our THASSA. They just always have it for the THASSA. Jeez. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna pass it up. Jeskai Elder, when it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Interesting. Reach, Hexproof, and Vigilance. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna kill this. I would have held that up for a little bit, for sure. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get THASSA into play. Let's get in with everything. Opponent's probably gonna block the THASSA's Oracle. Maybe Atris. Okay. It's fine with me. Kill all of their creatures. Pass it up and blink the THASSA, set up our draw. Gourmand is cool. An opponent gives it up. Good game, opponent. Welcome back, everybody. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Today we went 3-2 for a pretty good finish, and the deck was a lot of fun. It definitely seemed a little clunky at times, but when it started to do what it wants to do, it does it very well, and we're able to accrue a lot of value with this THASSA's Oracle and these acquisitions experts. They both put in a lot of work in the early game and in the late game to be able to just carry us to the late, so we can, you know, chew up some with some Massacre Worms, make our opponent sacrifice with some Gourmands, but overall, the deck is a lot of fun. Again, we're almost at 100 subscribers, so please, please, please hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Hit the like and leave a comment down below. Hit the bell for all that good stuff, and come check out the Discord so you can come brew some more decks like this. If you guys have some crazy ideas, give them to me. Let's play. Let's play these cards. Let's get them on. Let's get them on camera. And that's it for today, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.